Welcome to Basketball U. If you're new to Basketball U, make sure you slam dunk that subscribe button. And just to make sure you don't miss a thing, make sure you tap that notification bell right after you hit that subscribe button. Basketball U, what it do? It's great to see you. Here in our role player series, we highlight the unsung heroes that you hear about while they are making noise playing, but forgotten about once they no longer grace the floor with their presence. But before we talk about today's player, make sure you smash that like button. And to remind you to turn on the post notifications so you don't miss out on what we have in store for Basketball U. Today, we're going to talk about one of the top inside defenders, one of the greatest shot blockers, and one of the greatest defensive players of all time. He is also an 8-time NBA All-Star, 4-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year, and a 5-time NBA regular season leader in total blocks. Basketball U would like to present to you Dikembe Mutombo. Mutombo was born on June 25, 1966 in Leopoldville, known today as Kinshasa, Democratic Republic of the Congo, one of 10 children of Samuel and Bayamba Marie Mutombo. He speaks English, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and 5 Central African languages, including Lingala and Shaluba. He is a member of the Luba ethnic group. For high school, Mutombo went to Boboto College in Kinshasa, DR Congo, to lay the groundwork for his medical career as the classes were more challenging there. At around age 16, Mutombo decided to also work on his basketball career. He moved to the United States in 1987 at the age of 21 to enroll in college. Mutombo attended Georgetown University on a USAID scholarship. He originally intended to become a doctor, but the Georgetown Hoyas basketball coach John Thompson recruited him to play basketball. He spoke almost no English when he arrived at Georgetown and studied in the ESL program. During his first year of college basketball as a sophomore, Mutombo once blocked 12 shots in the game. Building on the shot blocking power of Mutombo and teammate Alonzo Mourning, Georgetown fans created a rejection row section under the basket, adding a big silhouette of an outstretched hand to a banner for each shot blocked during the game. Mutombo was named the Big East Defensive Player of the Year twice, in 1990, shared with Mourning, and in 1991. At Georgetown, Mutombo's international background and interests stood out. Like many other Washington area college students, he served as a summer intern, once for the Congress of the United States and once for the World Bank. In 1991, he graduated with a bachelor's degree in linguistics and diplomacy. In the 1991 NBA draft, the Denver Nuggets drafted Mutombo with the 4th overall pick. The Nuggets ranked last in the NBA in opponent points per game and defensive rating, and Mutombo's shot blocking ability made an immediate impression across the league. He developed his signature move in 1992 as a way to become more marketable and gain product endorsement contracts. After blocking a player's shot, he would point his right index finger at that player and move it side to side. That year, Mutombo started in an Adidas advertisement that used the catchphrase, "Man does not fly in the house of Mutombo," a reference to his prolific shot blocking. As a rookie, Mutombo was selected for the All-Star team and averaged 16.6 points, 12.3 rebounds, and nearly 3 blocks per game. Mutombo began establishing himself as one of the league's best defensive players, regularly putting up big rebounding block numbers. The 1993-94 season saw Denver continue to improve with Mutombo as the franchise cornerstone. During that season, Mutombo averaged 12 points per game, 11.8 rebounds per game, and 4.1 blocks per game. With that, he helped the Nuggets finish with a 42-40 record and qualified as the 8th seed in the playoffs. They were matched up with the top-seeded 63-19 Seattle Supersonics in the first round. After falling to an 0-2 deficit in the 5-game series, Denver won 3 straight games to pull off a major playoff upset, becoming the first 8th seed to defeat a number 1 seed in the NBA playoff series. At the end of Game 5, Mutombo memorably grabbed the game-winning rebound and fell to the ground, holding the ball over his head in a moment of joy. Mutombo's defensive presence was the key to the upset victory. His total of 31 blocks remains a record for a 5-game series. In the second round of the playoffs, the Nuggets fell to the Utah Jazz 4-3. The following season, he was selected for his second All-Star game and received the NBA Defensive Player of the Year award. But Denver failed to build on its success from the previous playoffs, as Mutombo lacked a quality supporting cast around him. During his last season with the Nuggets, Mutombo averaged 11 points per game, 11.8 rebounds per game, and a career-high 4.5 blocks per game. At the conclusion of the 1995-96 season, Mutombo became a free agent and reportedly sought a 10-year contract, something the Nuggets considered impossible to offer. Bernie Bickerstaff, then the Nuggets general manager, later said not bringing back Mutombo was his biggest regret as general manager. After the 1995-96 season, Mutombo signed a 5-year, $55 million free agent contract with the Atlanta Hawks. He and Hawks All-Star Steve Smith led Atlanta to back-to-back 50-plus win seasons in 1996-97 with 56 wins and 26 losses, in 1997-98 with 50 wins and 32 losses. The Hawks defeated the Detroit Pistons in 5 games in the first round of the 1997 playoffs, but lost in 5 games in the second round to the defending champion Chicago Bulls. Mutombo won Defensive Player of the Year both years, continuing to put up excellent defensive numbers with his new team. During the lockout-shortened 1998-99 season, he was the NBA's IBM Award winner, a Player of the Year award determined by a computerized formula. That year, the NBA banned the Mutombo finger wag, and after a period of protests, he complied with the new rule. In what would be his last full season with the Hawks, during the 1999-2000 season, Mutombo averaged 11.5 points per game, a career and league-high 14.1 rebounds per game, and 3.3 blocks per game. On December 14, 1999, Mutombo scored 27 points on 11 for 11 shooting from the field, grabbed a season-high 29 rebounds, and recorded a game-high 6 blocks to pull out the win over the Minnesota Timberwolves. At the February 2001 trade deadline, the Hawks traded Mutombo to the Eastern Conference leading Philadelphia 76ers. 1 week earlier, Mutombo played in the All-Star game. He led the game with 22 rebounds and 3 blocks, along with game MVP Allen Iverson and coach Larry Brown, both of the 76ers. The East railed from a 93-74 fourth-quarter deficit to win 111-110 on Mutombo and Iverson's strong performances. After the game, rumors began of a trade sending Mutombo to Philadelphia. The Sixers needed a big man to compete with potential matchups against Western Conference powers Vlade Divac, Tim Duncan, David Robinson, or Shaquille O'Neal, should they reach the NBA Finals. In arguably his best season as a pro, Mutombo earned his 4th Defensive of the Year award that season. During the 2001 playoffs, they defeated the Indiana Pacers in 4 games, Toronto Raptors in 7 games, and Milwaukee Bucks in a 7-game series. During Game 7 against the Bucks, Mutombo scored 23 points, grabbed 19 rebounds, and blocked 7 shots to win the series. Mutombo helped the Sixers reach the NBA Finals. After pulling off an upset and winning Game 1 against the Los Angeles Lakers, the only playoff game the Lakers lost in 2001, the Sixers lost the next 4 games in the series. Matched up against Shaq, Mutombo averaged 16.8 points, 12.2 rebounds, and 2.2 blocks. As a free agent, he re-signed with the Sixers after the season to a 4-year, $68 million contract. The 2001-02 season saw a change in the Eastern Conference, as the Sixers were eliminated in the first round while the New Jersey Nets surged to the top of the standings, making it all the way to the finals against the Lakers, who swept the Nets. Looking for a big man to compete with the likes of Shaquille O'Neal and Tim Duncan, the Nets sent future teammate Keith Van Horn and Todd McCulloch to Philadelphia in exchange for Mutombo. But Mutombo spent most of that season with a nagging injury that limited him to just 24 games. He was generally unable to play in the playoffs, typically serving as a sixth man during the Nets' second consecutive finals run. They lost to the Spurs in 6 games. After one contentious season in New Jersey, the Nets bought out the remaining 2 years on his contract. In October 2003, he signed a 2-year deal with the New York Knicks after a dominant performance against the crosstown rival New Jersey Nets that included 11 blocks. Knicks fans began waving their fingers at Mutombo. He chose to respond in kind after a referee told him that as long as the gesture was not directed at a particular player, the league would not punish him. In August 2004, the Knicks traded him to the Chicago Bulls. Prior to the 2004-05 season, the Bulls traded Mutombo to the Houston Rockets. Yao Ming and Mutombo formed one of the NBA's most productive center combos. In his first season with the Rockets, Mutombo averaged 15.2 minutes per game, 5.3 rebounds per game, 4 points a game, and 1.3 blocks per game. The Rockets lost in the first round to the Dallas Mavericks. In March 2nd, 2007, in a win over the Denver Nuggets at age 40, Mutombo became the oldest player in NBA history to record more than 20 rebounds in a game, with 22. In the 2007-08 season, Mutombo received extensive playing time when Yao went down with a broken bone and averaged double digits in rebounding as a starter. In midst of a 10-game winning streak at the time of Yao's injury, Mutombo stepped in and helped the Rockets win 12 more games to complete a 22-game winning streak, then a team record. On January 10, 2008, in a 102-77 rout of the Los Angeles Lakers, Mutombo recorded 5 block shots and surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in total career block shots, trailing only Hakeem Olajuwon. After contemplating retirement and spending the first part of 2008 as an unsigned free agent, on December 31, 2008, Mutombo signed with the Houston Rockets for the remainder of that season. He said that season would be his farewell tour and his final season. He was the oldest player in the NBA in 2009. In Game 1 of the first round playoff series against Portland, Mutombo played for 18 minutes and had 9 rebounds, 2 blocks, and a steal. In the second quarter of Game 2, Mutombo landed awkwardly and had to be carried from the floor. After the game, he said, "It's over for me and my career, and that surgery will be needed." It was later confirmed that the quadriceps tendon of his left knee was ruptured in Game 2. Mutombo would announce retirement on April 23, 2009, after 18 seasons in the NBA. Throughout his career, Mutombo averaged 9.8 points per game, 10.3 rebounds per game, and 2.8 blocks per game. Dikembe Mutombo is also a well-known humanitarian. His work earned him the NBA's J. Walter Kennedy Citizenship Award in 2001 and 2009. Mutombo also serves on the board of trustees of the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia, which is a museum dedicated to the U.S. Constitution. In 1997, Mutombo started the Dikembe Mutombo Foundation to improve living conditions in his native Democratic Republic of Congo. In 2012, the Mutombo Foundation, in partnership with Mutombo's alma mater, Georgetown University, began a new initiative that aims to provide care for visually impaired children from low-income families in the Washington, D.C. region. On the outskirts of his hometown, the foundation has built a 29 million 300-bed hospital named after his mother, who passed away from a stroke in 1997. He was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2015. Thank you, Mutombo, for being a great player and a great humanitarian on the court and off the court. This is Basketball U. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, follow all of our social medias right there in the description to keep yourself up to date, as this channel will have a lot of basketball, a lot of players, and a lot of training and more information on how to play the game of basketball. Remember, someone's always working. Are you?